Hello everyone, hope you are all doing well. Can't seem to get the camera looking right without a big shadow on my face, but I just got ready watching some Velvet Ghost. She's literally, I want to say, like my #1 favorite YouTuber. I can't get enough of her. But you're gonna see I did her tag video. She did a tag video a couple weeks ago called 10 Things I Would Save in a Fire, and I did it. And I filmed it a while ago. You guys know I film my videos like a month in advance. In the video, I mentioned this sweatshirt. So sneak peek, I just told you one of the things. And this was my dad's for years. I mean, one of my brothers went here, I think, for like a semester. So this was my dad's sweatshirt for so long. I just always loved it so much because it's like really worn. Like he's had it for so long, like over 10 years, 15 years or something, I don't know. But you could see it's like super worn out. Like this thing is like coming off. But I just always wanted it. I've been asking and he said if I could find him one that's like very similar, but I can't because it's made by JanSport, and JanSport doesn't make sweatshirts like this, and if they do, they have like this huge thing on the front, and my dad likes something really simple like this, so I haven't been able to find one. And then the other day I just went downstairs and he was like, hey, on the back of my door in my room, like I have something for you, and it was this. Like, what? So super excited about that, but that had nothing to do with this video. I'm just having some raisins that are covered in yogurt, which is not good because trying to stay away from dairy, but I mean there can't be that much dairy in these, which is a whole nother video I kind of want to do, talking about diet. Jeez, just nearly choked. I wanted to do a whole video talking about my diet and stuff because I'm trying to cut out animal products. Not completely, I know I'm not gonna be able to do it completely, but I am trying to cut down a lot, like a lot. So right now I'm obviously not doing a good job. But the reason for this video, as you can tell by the title, is an update for my health. You guys have been following me for like 2 months now, I want to say, about this, and it's just a nightmare. Oh my god, if you are sick, I mean, obviously I'm always sorry because that sucks, but like I now can kind of empathize or sympathize with you because being around doctors is terrible. Like, no offense to anyone who's a doctor. I mean, my mom's a nurse, like it's completely different, but like being in a hospital and going to doctor's appointments nonstop is so depressing and feels like you have no control, and when they don't know what's wrong with you, you feel like you have absolutely, like you can't do anything. And especially when you feel like you're fine. Like, I obviously have anxiety, but I feel like, other than that, I don't feel sick. I don't feel like what they're telling me I'm feeling like. And that's what's so annoying. I know my body, and you know, maybe this is just my normal, and maybe that's not great and I should be put on medicine, but I really hate going to doctors. And my fear, I'm going to do actual sit down part of this video, so I don't want to get into this now. Stay tuned for that. But I just want to give it a little heads up. So this isn't like a daily vlog. I'm not showing you around what I'm doing because I'm really not doing much but filming videos today. So I wanted to do that. I'm also going to film my bones reaction, so don't know when this is going up, but it might be before or after, I don't know. And just found out that in April, which it definitely is when you're seeing this, Buffy and Angel are leaving Netflix, which is what? Like what? Netflix, what are you doing? Anyway, ew, there's some kind of gross crusty stuff on my table. What the heck? Ugh, that's disgusting. It's still there. Great. Okay, I'm gonna see you in a little bit. Bye. Hi guys. You just saw me, but this is the part where I want to sit down and chat with you about my health and kind of updates, because I know that a lot of you guys are super sweet and you really cared and you want to know how I'm doing and everything. And the last time we chatted was after I was in the hospital, and so since then I have had follow-ups and I've had to check my heart rate all like throughout the day and everything. And so I went to a cardiologist and got another EKG done. Of course my heart rate was high again because I was in a doctor's office, but I hate hospitals. I've always hated hospitals. I've hated doctors. There are a good percentage of doctors who I think that don't have good bedside manner and don't see when you're distraught and you don't want to be there. And I get that they want to just do their jobs, but part of the job of a doctor is to make their patients feel better and at ease, and it's not just physically better but emotionally and mentally better. And you know, when I'm in a doctor's office, like the second just to sit in that waiting room takes so much out of me. I don't think that people understand just how much it really takes for me to do that. And you know, I might look fine on the outside and just look like a little bit nervous, like anyone would be, but on the inside, that's kind of what I talked about in my anxiety blog post like months ago. When you have anxiety, that's what it looks like. It looks fine. It looks like a normal person. It looks like someone's not struggling. But on the inside, my body is ripping itself apart and I'm panicking and I'm sweating and I'm freezing and I feel like I have a fever and I feel like I'm getting cut off from oxygen. It's not a great feeling, and I mean, it's actually a really terrible, sucky feeling. So just going to these doctor's appointments makes me feel terrible. And I think is I felt fine. I've probably had this high heart rate for years and no one knew because I don't feel that. It doesn't feel like there's something wrong with me. They found it because I had a pain in my rib, and I know a lot of people would say, well, that's a sign, you know, there's a reason that you went to the doctor for that pain, and that's so that they could find this out. And, you know, I do believe everything happens for a reason, but this is, I swear, the only reason for this is to annoy the hell out of me, because it seems like every test I get done, everything is fine. It just seems to be that my body wants to have a fast heart rate. And no, I'm not a doctor, and I know it's annoying to hear someone who has people helping them, like, kind of not want that help. But I don't think people understand just how uncomfortable it makes me. It's not just uncomfortable. It's not just like being somewhere you don't want to be. It's not being lazy or scared or anything. It's panic. It's pure panic. And, you know, being in that doctor's office and knowing that they're doing all these tests and people touching me and all these things. And what drives me really crazy is that when I went to the doctor, he said, very likely there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. I really don't think it's anything serious, but we're gonna keep running all of these ridiculous tests that just make me more and more and more uncomfortable. Even knowing that I have an appointment coming up, or knowing that I have to make an appointment, or knowing that I have to get a needle or another test stuck to my chest or something, like just knowing that it has to happen, and anytime my mom brings it up to me, I lose it. I can't handle it. I just can't. And it's not something I want to do. And it's not because I'm scared that something might actually be wrong, because I know my body and nothing is actually wrong. It just makes me angry when doctors say all these things like you're fine. And they're saying that to calm you down so you're not freaking out, so you're not panicking. But I'm not 5 years old. Like, don't tell me everything is fine if you're going to keep running all these tests to make sure everything is fine. Because obviously you don't know. So don't tell me that. And I just find that so annoying, and I just hate doctors so much, and I don't find that doctors listen to you and they don't take what you want into account. So when I went to that appointment, pretty much they did the EKG, and, you know, we talked to him and said what my problems were, and, you know, I have a high heart rate and I get really hot all the time, like I'm going through menopause. I have hot flashes, and that's obviously not normal for my age. He wanted to order a bunch of blood tests, a stress test, and other stuff, like a cardiac MRI. So I can't do these tests, and that's the problem. Like, I did the stress test, which is where they put like an EKG on you and you walk on a treadmill. I thought walking on a treadmill would be super easy, but it was terrible. The day before I went for that test, I went for a walk with my mom just around the neighborhood, like a nice stroll, and when we got back, my heart was racing, and I took my heart rate and it was like 142, and that's definitely not how high it should be, because my mom took hers right after and it was like 90 something. Just all these doctors are telling me something different, and it makes me very angry. But so when I was in the doctor's office, when he was ordering these tests, I didn't know what they were. He wasn't explaining what was involved in the tests. And I said I hated hospitals, and I said I hated doctors, and I said I hated everything that kind of has to do with that, and I hate needles. So he wanted to postpone the blood work to do other tests first. But as much as I hate needles, I hate any kind of big machine like an MRI even more. So he wanted to do a blood test to see if my mono I had 5-6 years ago caused this, because I started feeling this hot flash thing. My anxiety started then. My anxiety might have something to do with my high heart rate, and it might be caused by some kind of residual thing from that virus, which would be kind of a relief, because if they can just get rid of it, woohoo. But I haven't done the blood work yet because he didn't order it, because he wanted to wait for me to do the other ones first, which I'm not doing. I did the stress test. The whole experience, like, honestly, walking into the hospital, my whole body starts shutting down pretty much. They had to put all these things on me, and the nurse was really nice. She put the things on me. I'm sitting in this chair, not moving. My heart rate's already like 135, 140. I didn't do any exercise. I didn't have any coffee. Nothing was supposed to be getting my heart rate. That was simply my body's reaction to being in a hospital. Like, it's proven. You can see on the machine that my heart rate is that high. They were telling me, like, so at my age, my height, my weight, they wanted me to walk on the treadmill until my heart rate gets into like 160s. That's how high it should be when you get your heart racing and like are exercising and stuff. My heart rate when I stood on the machine before taking a step was 150. Literally from standing up in a chair, walking 2 steps onto the treadmill, my heart rate was 150. And that was with the nurse in the room, and she was very nice. And then the doctor came in the room, which is not my doctor, just like the doctor that sits there and reads the results of the test. And he had very bad bedside manner. He could see I was distraught, and I literally hated being there, and he just found everything that he said just made me more and more angry. It makes me so angry when doctors behave that way. And he's telling me that the reason that my heart rate is so high is because I don't exercise. And he's like, you've made the choice not to exercise and not to care about that, so that's why this is so unhealthy. My heart rate would come down a whole lot faster if I exercised more and my body was used to it. I get that it was going up, but the thing is, my heart rate by the time he ended the test was like 178, 179, I think, maybe even 181 it went up to. And they said they were going to stop it when my heart rate got to 164. He wanted to see how long I could go and how high my heart rate went. Like, I just felt like that wasn't right. That's not what they were supposed to do. He was like, let me know when you need to stop. And I didn't need to stop. I wasn't out of breath. I could feel my heart racing, but that's how I felt in gym class since high school. Like, whenever we had to run around the gym or run laps, I could feel my heart pounding so quickly, and it took forever to stop. That was just my normal. And so he can't tell me it's because I've chosen not to exercise, because when I was forced to exercise in school, it was the same way. And he was just being a real dick, to be completely honest. Like, I couldn't believe how rude he was being. I didn't even want to answer his questions, and he just kept asking me how I felt, and I said I felt tired, and my legs were burning because they kept putting the thing on an incline. So it was like I was walking up a hill, and honestly, if I was out in the world walking and I had to walk up a hill, I'd turn around and walk back the other way. He's not my doctor. He doesn't know my full history, so he shouldn't have been saying any of that. I was telling him, well, this isn't going to happen. My heart rate doesn't go up to 180 normally because I don't do this exercise, and I just wanted to get out of there so badly. And the nurse was very nice. She could see how uncomfortable I was and how much I hated being there. She went and got me water, and she was very, very nice. And you know, I find that very rare. So when I do see a nurse who, you know, or any kind of hospital staff member who, you know, just wants to make you feel okay when they can see that you're upset, is really refreshing, which shouldn't be the case. It should be normal. That should be what everyone does. But this doctor just, oh god, I was just so angry with him, and that's why it made my heart rate go even faster, because as they kept rising the speed and the incline of the treadmill, I was saying, my legs are burning, my legs are burning, my legs are burning. And he just was like, well, let me know, we can do more, and we can do more. Like, I was pretty much letting him know, but it was just terrible. And so now my doctor, my actual cardiologist, needs to get those results, which are gonna pretty much say what we already knew. Any test that they do on me isn't gonna be accurate to my everyday life, because anything that has to do with hospitals or doctors makes my heart rate go up so much. So one of the tests that my doctor wanted to do was the cardiac MRI. And MRI is kind of like a CAT scan, but even worse and louder and longer and in a machine, and I get so claustrophobic, there's no chance in hell I could do that. And another test that they wanted to do was wear a 30-day heart monitor. And not only is there practical reasons I don't want to do that, like I'm on camera as a job and you can see it and it's all over your chest. I hate even the feeling of having the EKG for the 2 minutes it takes in the office where you're laying down not moving. I'm not going to wear that on my chest every day and you have to take it off to just take a shower. Like, that is not happening. And he didn't tell me that when he told me he wanted me to wear a heart monitor. I thought it was like, you know, when you get your blood pressure and they put that thing around your arm. I was like, oh, it's like a little thing I wear on my arm. Like, really not that big of a deal. But it would be so uncomfortable for me, and knowing that it was there, I would be in constant anxiety for a month straight, and that is not something that I'm comfortable with. And even just wearing like a 1-day monitor that they do for some people, like, that would just, none of these results are going to be accurate, because I hate having anything like that on me. As a child, I remember not wanting a Band-Aid. Even if I was bleeding, I was like, no, I'll just let it stop. I don't want a Band-Aid. I never wanted anything that had to do with like doctors or hospitals or medical things. I didn't want that. I didn't want it to touch me. Like getting a strep test when I was a kid, I used to kick doctors in the chest. It makes me feel like, you can hear it in my voice right now, because I'm feeling like anxious just talking about it, like knowing it's a thing. I know my body, and I'm not doing these tests. And if it was that important when I refused to do the test, like the guy ordered the test, didn't tell me what it involved, and then the woman in the office was supposed to put the heart monitor on me. When I asked what it was, I was like, yep, that's not happening, sorry, I don't want to be rude, but I'm not doing that. And he didn't explain it to me, and if it was that important, then he would have called and tried to convince me. And so many people have. Anyone I've told this has tried to convince me, but no one is going to. So if you're gonna leave a comment, just know it's gonna mean nothing to me. I mean, obviously some of the comments will mean something to me, but if you're gonna try to leave me a comment convincing me to change my mind, you're not going to. It's not gonna happen. I've made my mind up, and nothing is going to change it, because this is my choice. I mean, you can hear it in my voice how upset it makes me even talking about it. So you can imagine how brutal it would be for me to actually have these tests done. And if I had to wear that 30-day monitor, I would take it off and never ever wear it. I wouldn't be able to make videos. I wouldn't be able to babysit. I wouldn't be able to go out of my house. I wouldn't even want to wake up. It would just really alter everything. So that's kind of where things are at now. Still waiting for the doctor to call about anything and to order the blood work so that I can just get that, because I've had enough needles in my arms, and as much as I hate it, it's like in and out, you know, you're not sitting there forever, people aren't touching you everywhere. It's like one needle in, take some blood, and that you're done. So some of the things that we think it might be that the doctor hasn't said, like the doctor literally said, I don't think it's anything serious. He's most, I think, reaching toward thinking that it's caused by like the virus I had, either mono from years ago or from the respiratory infection I had a couple of months ago that started this whole stupid thing off. So he's kind of thinking that's where it is. Things that I'm thinking might be from looking up my symptoms, and obviously I know you're not supposed to do that, but whatever. Don't tell me if the doctors were telling you all this stuff was happening with you that you wouldn't look up the symptoms. So I think from symptoms I've looked up, it could be hyperthyroidism, but I have been tested for it a lot before and it's always perfectly fine, but at the same time there are a number of tests to test for that, and I don't know that they do the whole entire test for me, or if they've only been doing like the basic one. Another thing it could be is Lyme disease, even though I don't know how I would have gotten Lyme disease since I never go outside, but you never know. And so the first doctor I saw in the hospital told me that anxiety causes the high heart rate rather than the high heart rate causing the anxiety, and I think it could be both, and that's pretty much what other doctors are telling me now. My anxiety definitely makes my heart rate go high, but I also think maybe having a high heart rate naturally or whatever, caused by something, could make me have anxiety. Obviously, if your heart is racing super fast, you're not feeling great. I hope this kind of made sense. This is very long. I'm probably not going to vlog anymore today because this was so long, and this is pretty much what the main point of the video was. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. You can watch my other videos if you haven't been catching up and this is the first one you're watching. I have one about when I was in the hospital, when I was sick, when I sprained my ankle, all that fun stuff. So the last 2 months have been super fun. But please subscribe if you want to hear more from me or see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.